You are in a small village called Dirdal. It is a very beautiful place in this part of Norway.
Aqua's feed company has factories in 4 different countries to make mostly salmon feed, some trout feed.
The fish feed in the Aqua's group is close to 1 million ton a year.
That means 1 million tons of raw materials to evaluate. We're a major player in that we're the major salmon feed provider.
A lot of the salmon swimming in the sea is fed on Aqua's feed and based on the results from Aqua's Innovation. Aqua's Innovation is the research company for Aqua's group, and we are examining a lot of raw materials, get advices to the operating company, how they should make the feed, how they should use the data and so on.
We have trial facilities here. We have approximately 450 tanks in which we grow fish on different feeds. Throughout the life cycle of the salmon, we make the first feeding when they've absorbed the egg, and we go all the way through to the sea growth cycle. And our job is to develop all of the feed ingredients for the factories. And the second is to come up with new feed formulations or fish feed recipes based on change in supplies and types of fish meal, types of soy. The feed commonly has 15 different major raw materials in it, which we have to use to provide the fish nutrition.
Raw materials like soya, wheat gluten, pea.
Supplies that we get change every year according to weather, new factories for grain suppliers. A small change in fat amount or an amino acid means we have to change the formula and recipe of the feed.
NIR is very important for us because it is the industrial application to do accurate production.
We've been using NIR commonly for at least 12 years to measure the protein, water, fat and ash content. And now we've expanded to the higher resolution NIR, which includes amino acid. We're always changing the quality of the instruments and improving the resolution at the factories.
The use of NIR is very important when we are using in order to get the values which we are using in the next step in order to formulate the fish feed.
We have a variety of data to evaluate feed ingredients, one of which is NIR, one of which is physical properties of ingredients, and another important data set is high field NMR, which is very precise chemical composition. We have such a challenge of supplying our ingredients for the feed that we have to do much more work. And we simply can't have enough fish in tanks. We have to have more data. The major benefit is that we can run a lot more trials because we have modeling data to shorten the time. The drive to use NIR is 2 things mostly. It's the speed and accuracy. It's also the ease of operation.
And we need that information. We need it fast and we need it cheap and as accurate as possible.
That's why it is very important for us to use NIR, because we get very fast results.
The factories are using the information in order to quality check the fish feed, but also in order to do the small changes in the formulation throughout the process.
When we make the final feed and when we sell it to the farmer, we have a guaranteed composition of the feed, which we have to monitor by NIR. So that's the major thing, is to make sure that after combining everything, we have a precise product. The biggest help that we get from Aunir is that we're using their calibrations because of the success in in implementing new calibration set, the rapid response time, then that's verified both by having the reference samples and doing the constant ring testing.
For example, like we did for fish flesh, we scan about 200 different samples, and then we send all spectra to our Aunir, and they build a calibration for us. I always can call to them and I get very quick help from them. The basic theory about Aunir to understand it better.
An example of an application is we bought a new full spectrum instrument specifically initially to calibrate the fish meal quality and composition. We did all of that work here. When we had a calibration set which was verified with Aunir and was actually in collaboration with Aunir using the standards and also their expertise to do this, then we gave the okay to the factories to use this information and use the calibration and routine daily work. We use the ingot calibration for this instrument, and we relied on it heavily because it was going to change the way that we were evaluating these products. We definitely need NIR for future developments in this area because of the high volume of ingredients that we're using. When we have supply problems, we often have to come up with answers the day before when it's not possible to do it in less than a couple months' time. It's indispensable that we have someone to help us with the calibration. We've chosen Aunir as the partner because of the good working relationship and also the speed of getting this work done. There's tremendous cost savings because in using 1 million tons of supplies a year, any very subtle change in the recipe that would give us a savings or increase the price either way has a huge economic impact for this company.